everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and it is absolutely the perfect day for harvesting parsley. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to harvest your parsley, how to dry your parsley, how to store it, and how to make parsley powder. So there's only a few things that you need to harvest your parsley. In the beginning, it's really simple. You need some kind of knife, some kind of sharp knife, and I got a few bowls here, so some good sized bowls, depending on how much parsley you have. But it's pretty straightforward, and that's what I really like about parsley is it's kind of no fuss. It goes really quick all the way through from cutting to washing to drying. It's really straightforward, but you got to know what to do, right? So I'm going to share with you how to do that, because parsley is one of my main herbs in everything that I do. So I use it, I chop it up, you know, a lot of times over soups and salads. It's a constant herb that goes into most of my savory dishes, I would like to say. The other biggest thing why I grow so much parsley is because I have bad varicose veins. And if you watch my channel here for a little while, you already know that I take 1 teaspoon of parsley powder per day. And that actually takes away the pain of my varicose veins, and it actually has improved my varicose veins. And when you got no pain and you got severely bad varicose veins, it is like night and day. So when I'm on it, the circulation, there's no that heaviness in the vein, there's no constant pain, and it has just been an amazing herb to find that actually works and is completely good for you. So I grow a lot of parsley because I take in a lot of parsley myself. So the best time to harvest parsley is in the morning. Whenever you're harvesting herbs with aerial parts, you have the leaf or the flower. You want to make sure that you harvest before noon, first thing in the morning, and because the energy from the roots go up into the plant, and they wake up in the morning and go, oh, we gotta make food, we gotta, put all that energy back into the leaves, and then the quality of the herb that you're harvesting is at the highest peak. So that's why we're doing this first thing in the morning. I got wonderful sun hitting my cheeks. It's just such a beautiful morning. You can hear the rooster in the background. It's beautiful. And this is the perfect time. Now, if it was raining, you don't want to harvest herbs. Don't harvest herbs on a really cloudy, overcast day. Try to get a day like it is, like I am experiencing today. So the only issue that I will have filming today for you is shadowing, because there's a lot of shadows because of how the sun, so I'm going to try to really not shadow too much with filming, but it definitely is going to be a challenge. But bear with me, and let's get this long row chopped, and then we'll take it in the house and I'll show you the next part. So let's start harvesting. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do is realize how a parsley plant grows. Now, if you take a look here, parsley plants grow new leaves in the center of the plant. So all these big leaves up here, we can just cut down. Now, you can do one of two things, okay? You can either go and take each kind of outer stem and leaf together off just like that, and then just put it in the bowl. Now I'm going to just set my bowl aside, so anytime I'm throwing the parsley, what looks like off screen is actually just in the bowl. Or you can take your parsley plant right here, and I just kind of take a bundle and just kind of go ahead and chop it. And most of the time you're going to miss this middle part anyway, and it just goes a lot faster. So that's the way that I'm going to do it, is just go simply chop it through. And because I got so much of it. If I had 1 or 2 plants of parsley, I may do that method, just because, I mean, it's just 1 or 2, but when you're looking at my row and it's 25 feet long, there's a little more parsley to go. So that's why I'm just gonna go and chop it like that. So you can take a look here what I just did, and you can see the new growth coming. So you really aren't going right down to the bottom. You kind of just want to kind of cut on top, and that this way it makes it a little easier to see what I'm doing. And like when I'm going at the plant, I'm not going right at ground level. I'm going just above, and that usually misses most of that new growth that you want to keep anyway, because this is what I want, is this top nice beautiful part, and I want it to just continue to grow because our growing season is so short. We got to continue to harvest. So take a look at that. My first bowl full. Okay, second big bowl. So there's a lot of parsley that we just harvested. So let's go inside and I'll show you how to wash your parsley. Okay, so the next step is just washing your parsley. So I'm just going to run some cold water, plug my sink, and simply dump in my parsley. Then what I like to do is just fill it up enough where it kind of just covers it. So it just takes a couple of minutes. And it's really important to wash it because the back leaves here can collect a lot of dirt. And it's really important to wash it coming from outside. I'll sometimes just kind of move it around because I'm a little bit impatient. I don't like waiting so long. I've got lots of things to do. If there's any discolored leaves, I'll take them out. I just kind of throw them off to the side. But as this fills, I'm just moving this parsley around. This little bit shaking it or wishing it helps remove that dirt. Okay, so now you can kind of see my water level rising. So that's perfect. And so what I'm going to do is off to the side here on my counter, I have some tea towels just laid down. So when I grab my parsley, I just let it drip for a couple of seconds here. Give it a little bit of a shake. And then what I do is I just throw it onto my tea towel. And that way it doesn't create such a mess on my counter. But this way I can wash it in bulk. And just swishing it around gets the dirt off. As you can see in my sink here, you can see the cloudy water and the dirt. That's why it's so important to wash your parsley. So after we're done washing, it's now cutting. So I have some parsley on my cutting board here. I also have a dehydrator tray with a screen. Now that's really important because once you chop, this is too small. These holes are too small. Get a screen on them. So I have a whole bunch beside me here on the table. And what I like to do is when I grab a handful of parsley, I like to make sure I don't have weeds in it because the row is not 100% clear of weeds, and this is when I go through to make sure that there's no weeds. So, and what I do is I grab enough where I'm going to make this into like a tight log. So I will kind of put it together just like I'm doing and kind of roll it into this log. Just like that. And then I'm going to do a rough chop, just kind of chop it up. And why I'm cutting this into the dehydrator is because it'll dry at least 4 times quicker. Then from there, I'm just going to chop this up. Okay, so after we're done chopping it up, this looks really good. Then what I want to do, put this on my dehydrator tray. And once again, I can really pile this up on my dehydrator tray because it'll dry super, super quick, and it doesn't seem to make any difference how thick it is. It dries really good. So it looks kind of like that, and then I will do it all over again. So I'm all done chopping the parsley, and I have 12 of these trays full. Like, they are jam-packed full of parsley. So I have it on the lowest temperature. You always want the lowest temperature because you don't want to cook. You want to preserve the color and just dry it as fast as you can. And when you cut it the way that I did, it will dry by tomorrow, and that's the beauty of it. It's just, it dries so much quicker. So I'm going to put the lid back on. I have it on its lowest setting, which is 95 Fahrenheit, 35 Celsius, and I will get back to you tomorrow, and we'll do the last step and make some powder. Ah, the wonderful parsley is done. So take a look. I'm just going to take a tray down. Look at that beauty. Now listen carefully. That's the sound of dried parsley. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the trays, and one by one I'm going to put it in this bowl. Now you can see that this bowl is big enough for my tray to fully sit in. So when I take it off, I can easily take it off the tray and not spill it everywhere. I find I always do this. I always spill it into another bowl, and that way, whether you're doing dried fruit, dried veggies, herbs, you are always getting it all into the bowl and not just scooping it off the tray, which pushes it off the tray, then makes a mess on your counter, and you end up spending more time cleaning up than you are just taking it off the tray. I have 12 trays to go here, and after I'm done, we'll go upstairs and we will make powder. So to make powder, you need a blender, and I'm using a Blend Tech. You don't need a Blend Tech. You can just use pretty much a regular blender to do this, as it is quite simple. So what you want to do is have your parsley nice and dry. The other important thing is when you take it off the dehydrator tray, do this immediately. If you are in a area with really high humidity, the herb here will actually soak in the moisture in the air and will go soft. So you won't have this nice crispness like you're hearing right now. So I'm just gonna press it down. I want to pack in my blender. It's like that. Put on the lid. Now what I like to do with the lids is I like to just have my hand over, because sometimes things will seep out through here and you will see that right away. I'm going to start on medium-high speed. You need to get things going, and you'll see that it will start to blend the bottom, kind of stall, and then it'll pull the rest down and blend it into powder. My blender will only run for 50 seconds. So what I'm going to do is take it off, and I'm just going to hit it a little bit. So that way it kind of settles to the bottom. And you can see the result here on the lid, and you can see inside. Beautiful. So from here, what I want to do is grab my container. Now I'm using these containers. Aren't they so cute? Okay, but these are my parsley containers. One, because I think the old school peanut butter containers are just like awesome. This one, I have about a half a cup left. And so what I like to do with my powder is have these silica packs that come in various things. I always keep them. And I make sure that there's no moisture in here, keeps things dry, and keeps the powder from going hard, so you don't got any hard lumps. It works really good. So I have a empty one here, and this one here I'm going to use for this year's. That way I don't mix up last year's and this year's together. You shouldn't mix things up. You should always have them separate. So I'm going to start filling up my little teddy bear jar here. And you always want to go a little bit slower. You don't want to just tip it and like dump your powder out, because it'll go poof. And then you'll end up having more powder all over the place and make a big mess. So that made about a half a cup of powder. So that's awesome. Okay, let's do this again. So let's say you're not interested in making parsley powder. Let's say you just want to store this and use it as dried parsley, right? So what I would do is just take it, rub it, make it a little bit smaller, and then store it in a container, and then do the same thing, stick a silica pouch in it, and you are done. That's it. So what's really nice is you can have the best of both worlds as well. Like after my jar is full, I know I got enough for the year. Anything more, then I make just the dried herb for soups, for stews, for over any kind of meal that I have, in salad dressings, and we love this in our herb sausage. So I think we use like 7 or 8, I can't remember, cups of parsley, dried parsley in our sausage, and there's nothing like fresh parsley that you have dried, keeps the flavor, and it's absolutely wonderful.